Very much, Comrade 𝐂𝐎𝐿, chairperson for this morning proceedings. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, all invitees. Comrade General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party. His Excellency, the President, Comrade Irfan Ali. Honorable Prime Minister, Comrade Mark Phillips. Speaker of the National Assembly, Comrade Mansour Nadir, members of the Central Committee, delegates and observers, ministers of government, members of the diplomatic corps, esteemed ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to bring fraternal greetings from the Guyana Rice Producers Association to this, the 32nd Congress of the People's Progressive Party. Successive governments of the People's Progressive Party, going back to the days when Cheddi Jagan was Premier of the then British Guyana, agriculture was always a top priority for the development agenda of the party. Comrade Cheddi assumed the portfolio of Minister of Agriculture because of its importance as a vehicle to eradicate poverty. Crops and livestock received full government support and major investments were made in infrastructural development. On the 17th of May, 1961, Blackbush Polder was declared open by then Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Brinley Benn, to be followed by the establishment of numerous investments to achieve remarkable progress over the years. Several national and regional initiatives propelled progress for farmers and country. The Jagdev Initiative was formulated to address regional issues, and Guyana was recognized as a regional leader in agriculture. Unfortunately, for country and for people, the coming to power by the PNC and its staying in power by rigged elections caused severe deterioration of the agriculture sector and indeed the entire country. Today, once again, the PVPC is in office and the increasing investments year after year is fueling a vision of progress and productivity in both traditional and non-traditional areas of agriculture. The objective of reducing the regional food import bill by 25% by the year 2025 is laudable and visionary by our President, Comrade Irfan Ali. We are certain that under the stewardship of the PVPC government, Guyana will continue to play a leading role in the development of agriculture nationally and in the region. On the international political stage, the RPA would like to associate itself with the parties and government call for a two-state solution to the Gaza crisis. Comrades, time is limited, and the RPA would like to take this opportunity to wish you a successful 32nd Congress. Long live the People's Progressive Party. Long live the people of Guyana. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, we've had speeches, and now it's time for you to relax a bit. Are you okay? Everybody's okay? Are you all right? I ain't hearing a big loud yes, yes. Our rich and diverse culture reflects who we are as a people, woven together like a beautiful tapestry. Each piece unique, each piece integrally linked to the other pieces in the tapestry we now call One Guyana. And I think sometimes we don't appreciate, recognize, or celebrate this diversity that is unique to Guyana in the entire Americas. We proudly invite the artists to come on stage to warm you up and help you to recognize how beautiful and blessed our people are. Can I invite the artists on stage, please?
Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. Together, my comrades, we will build a new Guyana, a country where all have equal opportunity. So let us begin now and show loyalty to Guyana by showing love and respect to all Guyanese. My brothers and sisters, we will live and die here together. Our motto, one people, one nation, one destiny. For harmonious living, cooperation will be forever. In work and play as we live as proud Guyanese. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. Well, it's time we settle all the rich lands in the interior. Our natural resources are there in great quantity, and we will do farming and establish town by the border. We'll grow more food so it feed all Guyanese. Together, we will build a new Guyana. Ferment us that we there in great quantity. That we study hard and we learn the things that will help Guyana to become strong. To become strong. Guyana, I want to serve my country. Guyana, beautiful, happy, and free. Guyana, let's cooperate with our government to help develop Guyana the free. Guyana the free. Guyana the free. Forget what you heard, don't say a word. We gon' tell you about the land men have been in search of golden mystery. Such a certainty. We guarantee that we know what you want to need. Have you heard the mighty riders roar while the eagles soar above evergreen? You know exactly what I mean. Most beautiful thing you ever could see. Pride and joy in our history. We live here in peace. Gonna really feel the ocean breeze. This is freedom. This is freedom. This is freedom. Tell me that we are free. This is freedom. This is freedom. This is freedom. Paradise is real. From the rivers deep in the jungle, we're beautiful people, resilient and peaceful. We gon' take you to Kite Falls, any waters rumble. And let me tell them, say, no more procrastination. This is your destination. Feel the rhythm of our culture. This is Guyana, land of many waters. And them betting the seas, believe me, will blow your mind. Thank me later, cause this is freedom. This is freedom. This is freedom. Tell me that we are free. This is freedom. This is freedom. This is freedom. This is freedom. This is freedom.
Yeah. If you love PPPC, put your hand in the air right now. Everybody. Show them. Show them. Show them that PPP sweet. Show them that PPP nice. Show them that there's one guy and for all hands up there and make some noise. Show them that PPP sweet. Show them that PPP nice. Show them that put your hands in the air. PPPC is we party. PPPC is for everybody. So don't hold up your head. Don't worry yourself. What? When I say one Guyana, put your hands in the air. Listen, you see the red, you see the yellow, and you don't know who is that. You see the red, you see the black, you see the yellow. Let me see all your hands like this. It's PPC, civic, put your hands up. Civic, put each of your hands. If you believe in PPPC, let me hear you make some noise. Civic, one Guyana, let we shout it. Show them how PPP sweet. Show them how PPP nice. Show them that there's one guy. Hands up there and make some noise. Show them that PPP sweet. Show them that PPP nice. Show them that there's one guy. PPPC is we party. PPPC is for everybody. So don't hold up your head. Don't worry yourself. One Guyana, we say. One Guyana. Welcome to the PPC. Listen. Show them PPP ready. Put your hands and wave them like this. Do it. Show them PPP. More energy. We love PPPC. Hey, show them PPP ready. It's how this is. Do it. Show them PPP ready. Hey, it's PPP. Civic, put your hands in PPP. Civic, there we go. It's PPP. Civic, there we go. Civic, let me hear. Show them how PPP sweet. Show them how PPP nice. Show them that this one Guyana for all hands up there and make some noise. Show them how PPP sweet. Show them how PPP nice. Show them that this one Guyana for all hands up there. PPP is we party. PPPC is for everybody. So don't hold up your head. Don't worry yourself. It's one Guyana for all. Welcome to the PPC capital. Show them how PPP sweet. I want you to do this to me right now. If you really love the PPPC, put your right hand in the air. Everybody, and don't matter where you're from. And let me wave it. Hands up there and make some. Show them PPPC. PPPC is for everybody. So don't hold up your head. Don't worry yourself. It's one Guyana. When I say one Guyana, make some noise. One Guyana. Thank you. PPPC.
Wow. Wow, what a fantastic program. I told you, we should be proud of our cultural diversity. We should be proud of our music and our young singers. Dutchin I've known for a long, long time when he was a little boy in short pants. Miss Chapman, Nikita, and all the dancers and all the people who put this program, this wonderful program together. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And for letting us as a people Remember, this is all Guyana. We are Guyana. We are one Guyana. Remind ourselves all the time, we are one people, one Guyana. The next speaker you know and love well. He brings endless energy, vision, innovation, and creativity to the leadership of our nation. In 3 short years, our nation is being transformed, and there is hope and optimism for the future for all of our people, with no one left behind. Please let me welcome no other than His Excellency the President, Mohammed Irfan Ali, to the podium.
Thank you very much, comrades. Comrades! 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 Welcome to our home, the home of the People's Progressive Party. Solid as ever, strong forever, the People's Progressive Party. The General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Comrade Bharat Jagdeo. The Executive Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Comrade Zulfikar Mustafa. Our dear Prime Minister, Mark Phillips. Our former President, including here Comrade Donald Ramotar, and leaders of the People's Progressive Party. But most importantly, the membership, you, the core, the foundation of the People's Progressive Party. Today is another historic day in the life of the People's Progressive Party. We gather here under much better circumstances than our last Congress. When we met at the last Congress, the membership of the PPP, the delegates and observers of the last Congress, which is the highest decision-making body of the party, mandated the party to realign itself with the changing circumstances in our country and to provide the captivating leadership that would return hope to the people of our country and that would provide the strongest possible leadership in the People's Progressive Party. Staying true to that mandate, we could not have asked to be led by a stronger comrade than Comrade Bharat Jagdeo as the General Secretary. Comrade Bharat Jagdeo took the mantle as General Secretary of the party, and immediately upon the mandate of the last Congress, we did a few things. Any political entity must have the confidence in itself to self-examine, to rectify, and to realign. And that is exactly what we did. There was a thorough self-examination of the strengths and the weaknesses, and led by the General Secretary, we developed a plan and a strategy to convert every weakness into strength and to lay a path for a party that is sustainable, resilient, and one that allowed us to achieve victory in 2020. We must not take this period in the life and history of our party lightly. It was a time in our country when the political leadership of the PPP was tested in every way, shape, and form. We were followed. We were identified for preferential and differential treatment. Our rights were trampled upon. We were paraded before the courts. They sought to strip the dignity of the leadership of the PPP. But because of the strength of the membership of the PPP, that dignity stands outstandingly in our country today. It was a period that many may not realize because of the way we manage, the level of maturity that the PPP leadership demonstrated. But guess what? It took time. It took effort. It took full commitment. And I want to publicly acknowledge on behalf of the membership of the PPP this morning that the then former president and our general secretary had before him many offers that would have enriched him, many offers that would have positioned him globally. But he sacrificed every hour of his time for the PPP and to ensure that the PPP remain strong, remain resilient, and remain the champion. But more importantly, in that sacrifice was to ensure the PPP remain the champion of the people of this country. And we embarked on a journey. The One Guyana concept is not accidental. The One Guyana concept was birthed after the last Congress when we designed, it wasn't a slogan, when we designed a philosophy in the then opposition and the PPP of creating a one Guyana, one future, one people. A one Guyana, one people, one future. And the mandate of the leadership of the PPP was to walk every single street, walk every single corner, touch every community, touch every heart, reach out to every Guyanese and bring back hope, aspiration, ideas, vision to the people of Guyana. And it is this mandate that allowed us to reposition the PPP and to get the message back out there that the only national party is the People's Progressive Party. And if you have any doubt about this, look across this room at the membership of the PPP and be proud that this is a representation of Guyana. Every inch of Guyana is represented here. The vision is clear. The mission was clear. And the mission was to rebuild, to modernize, to carry our message to every home, to disallow those with racist and divisive agenda to build our narrative. And this was a weakness. that we identified at the last Congress. We allowed others to define who we are. We allowed others to define the narrative about who we are. From the day we took back control of that narrative by naturally showing to the people of this country what the PPP stand for, the population rallied behind the PPPC, and that is what allowed us to grow this party. This party that we are part of has never been on such solid footing in the history of our party. I repeat this. This is the strongest the People's Progressive Party has ever been. And this is something we must celebrate. Young Guyanese, the future of this country, are embracing us. They're embracing us because they see in us the hope. They see in us a party that can fulfill their aspirations. They see in us a party that has stood the test of time and did not remove from its founding philosophy, its founding principles, and its founding values, and that is to always be on the side of the people. My friends, I cannot proceed further in my presentation without acknowledging the hard work and the support we receive from many actors in the society, because part of the mission and vision of the party was to expand our network, was to build relationship, and we built relationship at home and abroad. We expanded relationship at home and abroad. And when they tested us, in addition to our Attorney General and all our lawyers, when they tested us, lawyers came up from their offices and volunteered to work with us and fight with us, and we want to thank all those lawyers. The General Secretary himself was transformed into a lawyer because he was giving legal advice at 1 a.m. in the morning. We must thank all those in our society who stood up when it mattered for our country, and I ask you to give them a resounding applause. And we must never fail to call out the minority who masquerade as the voice of society but does not have the dignity or integrity to stand up for this country when it matters. It was no easy task to hold press conferences in opposition every day to expose the wickedness and to awaken the political consciousness of people. And I would say that it is the awakening of the political consciousness of the people that showed them what we stood for and allowed the people to make an informed decision in electing the People's Progressive Party back to office in 2020. During this period, we lost a number of our outstanding comrades. The journey to 2020 must be recorded correctly. And I wish to address some aspects of this journey in the 3 hours that has been allocated to me for this address. Comrades, the APNUFC unleashed one of the harshest ever campaign against the poor people of this country when they were in office. And make no mistake, the PNC held power for 10 years, 1 decade. The GS pointed out this. Because when we were in the minority government, they used their parliamentary majority to control us and to block development in this country. So for 10 years, they abused the power that they had, the APNU-AFC, in destroying our country. And what did they do? Amidst their failing economy, loss of job and income, what did the PNC did? They resorted to the imposition of 200 new taxes. 200 new taxes on the backs of the ordinary people. What they did was that they plucked out of the pockets of the ordinary people $110 billion. And they have the audacity to say they care. 200 new taxes, plucking out $100 billion from the pocket of the ordinary people. As if this was not enough, they decided that they needed to punish the working class even some more. They removed the 1-month bonus from the joint services, taking away annually $1 billion from the pockets of the members of our joint services. In 5 years, and even the rain reminds us of the dreadful tears that the people shed under those woeful years of the APNU-AFC. Even God is reminding us now of the dreadful tears that our country, our people shed under those woeful years of the APNU-AFC. Comrades, never again! As if this was not enough, they removed the subsidy on electricity and water from the pensioners. They took away, in 5 years, $2 billion from the pocket of the pensioners by removing the subsidy on electricity and water. As if this was not enough, they remove annually from the Because We Care grant $3 billion from the pockets of our children, amounting to $15 billion they extracted from the pockets of our children. As if this was not enough, they took the public servants, the doctors, off of contract employment, taking away their gratuity, punishing the working class, punishing the professionals, and punishing the ordinary. And what this led to, comrades, let me give you a basic stat. In 2013, when we had a minority government, we registered more vehicles in this country than we did in 2019 when we found oil. That is because people did not have the disposable income. That is because of the bad policies. And last year, we registered 150% more vehicles than we registered in 2019. That is because people now have disposable income. My friends, what did this bad management cost us? The callous management caused a decline in the economy, non-performing loan at the household level. At the household level, people could not pay back their loans. It rose by 22%, from 1.9 billion to 10.9 billion. And all of this, I can go on, but all of this led to massive dissatisfaction in the society. And it is this dissatisfaction that called upon the opposition to provide strong and decisive leadership. To provide leadership that will rekindle hope. And like a responsible opposition, every time we went to Parliament, we represented the interests of the people. Every time we went to Parliament, we give them ideas. We give them alternatives. We tell them don't close the sugar industry. Understand the implications of closing the sugar industry. And every time we brought ideas that will protect the people, they kicked those ideas out of the door. And eventually, the people of our country sent the message that we cannot wait any longer. We need something to be done instantaneously. And this led to the no confidence motion. So the no confidence motion did not come out of the air. It was a continuous political assessment of the environment by the leadership of the PPP, led by the General Secretary. We then tested the waters in the local government election before the no confidence motion. And when we tested the waters, we won those elections by 54,000 votes. We had 54,000 votes more than the AP and UASC combined. There were many in the political environment at that time that questioned whether we could have been successful with a no confidence motion, whether it was worth the try. But comrades, on that fateful night, we were proven that the people were indeed ready to remove the hopeless government from office. But that was only the beginning of another phase of struggle. That was only the beginning of another phase of struggle for the PPP. We thought that morality existed with the government. Recall that in 2015, we peacefully handed over the reins of government to the APNO AFC. The no confidence motion was passed, but the uncaring and unbothered government had other plans. Although on the night when the no confidence motion was passed, the then Moses Nagamutu said that they will respect the Constitution and the outcome of the vote. What occurred? The very opposite. The very man sought to justify that 32 is greater than 33. The very man used quarter bottle and large bottle to make his mathematical analysis. Today, the man is an author. Shouting from the mountain, he's a man of grace, but a man is a damn disgrace. Comrades, remember, they were so confident, they were so full of themselves, that when the leader of the opposition presented a motion for no confidence, They said, bring it on. And when the motion came, they didn't have enough lumatil for them at night. Comrades, right there on the floor, they sought to disrupt the results of the no confidence motion. They tried every trick. They called for a break. They called for a timeout. But democracy prevailed and the PPPC prevailed. The PPP prevailed. We prevailed. We prevailed. And the motion was passed. But the struggles would have just begun. For they then went to the court, making up arguments, and all those who claim to have moral ethos in our society, those vagabonds were part of a team trying to justify 32 was more than 33. They were the ones breaching the Constitution. They were the ones trampling upon the Constitution. And today, they have the audacity to say, we believe in constitutional rule. They believe in selfish agenda to protect power only for themselves. That is what they believe in. My friends, it is a while I did not get a platform like this, yes. I was straight-jacketed. But this morning I'm speaking as a leader of the People's Progressive Party. We then had to fight to get an illegally appointed chairman of the Elections Commission removed. Days and night of protest vigil. You, the comrades, the members of the PPP, you are not only there in the 5 months fight when the writing was on the wall, you are there in the fields, in the trenches, fighting to ensure we get the Constitution of this country respected. Because the membership of the PPP are not fair weather patriots. We are patriots every day, under every condition, under every situation. My friends, you can bring all the water, it ain't stopping me. So we had to fight again. We had to fight to get no confidence accepted. Then we had to fight to get the chair of the Elections Commission. Then we had to fight for the elections. And when we fight for the elections, then we had to fight to ensure that the results of the elections were respected. This was no easy journey. This was a journey that tested our political strength, our political capacity, our political being. And at this point, I am proud as this president that we were led by a legend in politics, 𝐂𝐎𝐿. Yes, you can stand and applaud his leadership. Comrades, let me tell you, for too long, we stood still and did not celebrate the quality we have. It is time in this party that we unite and celebrate the quality that we have, the quality that we possess, the quality of leadership that we offer to this country. My friends, you think that was all? They were a caretaker government. And they proceeded against the Constitution and illegally again to approve $307 billion in the parliament that was unconstitutionally convened. Never had the parliamentary scrutiny. And they talk about transparency. In Jamaica, they say blood clot. And they talk about transparency. $300.7 billion unconstitutionally spent in a parliament that was unconstitutionally convened. My friends, it was an extraordinary journey. Make no mistake, in every step of that journey, we were tested. Let me skip some pages. The GS sipping water. Comrades, today, you know what hurt me a lot? You know what hurt me? Ramjetan can go in Barbies and claim he loves sugar workers. When I sat across a room with him, sent by the PPP to present a case for the sugar workers, and he said to me, there is no other way. We are going to close it regardless of what any social or economic studies say. And this man believed that he can once again walk into the life of sugar workers and claim he cares. 7,000 families were sent on the breadline. Children left school. And this man, this entity of the AP and USC, has the audacity to speak for sugar workers. They sent 50% of the bauxite workers home. 50%. $21 billion lost in the sugar industry, in the bauxite industry. $31 billion lost in the forestry sector. $9 billion lost. More than 50,000 persons lost their jobs. More than 50,000 families went to the breadline under this AP and USC government, and they speak today about what they care about. More than 50,000 families sent to the breadline. In just more than 3 years, your party, this PPP civic government, has brought back 60,000 new jobs to the people of this country. We have reopened the sugar estates. We have brought back more than 7,000 sugar workers. We've increased back bauxite workers. And by the end of this year, we'll double the number of workers in the bauxite industry. Comrades, in the rice industry, indulge me, GS, indulge me. In the rice industry, they increase land rental by 220%. They increased D&I charges by 600%. And today, they speak about how much they care about farmers. Comrades, we came to office, and in 4 short years, despite COVID, despite 2 major floods, we were able to deliver and fulfill within 4 years more than 95% of the manifesto we went to the electorate with. Comrades, in just 100 days, we faced COVID head-on. $10 billion we funded emergency funding. 7.5 billion cash grant went directly into every family pocket within 100 days. We delivered to our health workers more than $400 million in bonus for the work they were doing, and let us applaud our health workers for the work they did in COVID. The flood that hit us in the first 100 days of office had a price tag of $85.6 billion. And we took that price tag, we rebuilt, and at the same time, we give back directly to farmers and family $28 billion in cash transfer to support them as a result of losses in the flood. We immediately removed the 200 taxes, and by that one measure alone, we put back $120 billion in the pockets of the ordinary people of this country. As a result, from the highest non-performing loan, today we have the lowest non-performing loan in this region and ever in the history of our country. We are building highways, roads, DNA in every single community. Comrades, our workers, our sugar workers were denied their severance. We give them, transferred directly to those workers who were denied $1.3 billion. The highest level of subsidy in the country is given to the workers and families of Region 10 in cash transfer to subsidize electricity in that region. My friends, we continue to invest in agriculture. We are now working to ensure we'll become self-sufficient in corn and soya, black eye and red beans. We have revitalized agriculture, more than 3,000 acres of new coconut. We've expanded rice production to the highest ever in its history. We have expanded aquaculture. Production is at its highest ever in the history, and it is now, only now growing. Because these are going to be important pillars of the economy as we move forward. We restored the electricity and water subsidy for the pensioners. That is a transfer of $1.4 billion to their pockets. We increased old age pension over the last 4 years, amounting to $13.4 billion, transferred directly to the 28,000 pensioners. We increased public assistance, $2.8 billion transferred to persons. We have restored the discipline services bonus, transferring $4.1 billion in the last 4 years to their pockets. We rehired the CSOs, transferring $3.8 billion to those communities. 15% of the LCDS revenue goes directly to those communities. Put our hands back together for the global leadership we are now putting on climate and forests. We have paid almost $1 billion in bonuses to workers. Comrades, we have spent $258 million on cash grant for dialysis annually, $700 million on children living with disability annually. $955 million for children and pensioners who need spectacles. $1.8 billion in supporting the health of children. Cervical cancer and supporting women's health, $2.8 billion. And the list goes on. Comrades, I have a list here. I'm going to leave it in your document. I don't want to keep you much longer. I just want to make one point that would dispel all this false narrative. Since we came into government, if you look at the budgetary allocation per region, you will see we practice what we preach: one people, one future, one country. In Region 1, the allocation increased by 146%. Region 2, 119%. Region 3, 132%. Region 4, 92%. Region 5, 73%. Region 6, 101%. Region 7, 155%. Region 8, 166%. Region 9, 127%. Region 10, 187%. Where is the damn discrimination? Stop this nonsense. Get on the agenda of one Guyana, building a future strong, resilient, and sustainable for all the people of Guyana. Long live the PPP. Long live the leadership of the PPP. Long live Guyana. Long live the PPP.
Let's go again. Long live the People's Progressive Party. Long live President Irfan Ali. Let me bring you a news break. You know, while we're here, the opposition is chewing their teeth, biting their nails, and running to the washroom every now and again. The leader of the opposition has brought out a statement, an official statement, saying that the PPP is violating constitutional law and democracy by putting up our flags, our party flags, on the convention center and outside of and across the country. What nonsense. They got short memories. They got short memories. When the PNC flag flew over the judiciary and the Guyana Defense Force and every ministry in this country, and you had to wear the party colors under Granger, you did not dare go with red into any public office between 2015 and 2020. How dare they? We will fly our flags. We will fly our Guyana flags inside, outside of elections, because we are the true party of the people. So, Mr. Norton we understand, he has a problem. He has a real problem, you know. So we wish them luck, but we know with the program that we're delivering, we will win in 2025. I want to give you, after I left here last night, I went to Giftland to pick up some bread and milk. You know, women gotta do what women have to do. And so when I was in the supermarket, a young man came up to me who had worked with me long years before in one of the ministries. Hadn't seen him for a long time. And he said, Minister, I really like what President Ali and the government is doing. Please convey that. He said, Minister, I only vote 2 times in my life. And this election coming, I am voting for the People's Progressive Party, Civic. And this is what the opposition, APNU, AFC, PNC can't understand. That our people see progress, they see change, they want it, they deserve it, and they will get it under the People's Progressive Party, Civic. There are few nations in the world that have produced a series of outstanding leaders, one after the other, over 4 generations, and even few political parties that have done so in the same short space of time. And today we have had one outstanding global leader speak with us a few minutes ago, and now we have the other, Bharat Jagdeo, champion of Earth, and our General Secretary of the party. Our General Secretary who led us in 2015 to 2020 to victory. He led us to victory. In 2015, hard years. So it is great pleasure for me as a party member, as a leader, to bring our General Secretary and Vice President, no other, Bharat Jagdeo, to speak to you.
Thank you very much. Actually, Irfan Ali had intended to go on for 3 hours. He left his notes here. They're still here. And I see that he didn't even get through halfway of those notes. So comrades, in opposition, we promised 2 things. We promised that we'll win the 2020 elections, and we did that. And we promised that we will emerge in government as a more diverse political party. And we did that, as you see the evidence here today. And let me make it clear that these were not easy tasks. If we did not succeed in 2020, this country would have been a very different place. And secondly, emerging as a diverse political party is not easy too, particularly in a country where there is a systematic, ongoing campaign of racism. So today, okay, I had to put your paper down, fine. So today, I'm not going to speak for very long, because in the next session that we'll get to immediately after this one, I have to present the report of the Central Committee of our party. And in that report, I will trace the entire history of the party, what our core values are, the founding principles of our party, and our achievements and struggles throughout our entire history. I will deal with the period in opposition and now how we are charting the course to the future. But today, now here at this forum, I want to focus on a few issues, because this activity is televised. And many of you here are members of this party. You know what I'm talking about. You know what brings us together. You know what motivates us. You know about our achievements. But there are a large body of people out there who have heard various issues about this party in an attempt by the opposition and other forces to redefine us. And so they may not be as fortunate as you are to understand the true nature of this party and what it means to this country. And I endorse what 𝐂𝐎𝐿 said, that if you trace our history, you will see that we always stood on the right side of history from the formation of this party. You will see that in 1950, when Chedi Jagan created this party, it was created as a party to fight for independence for all of our people. It was a party that included people from various classes, all of Guyanese, from their different races, from different religions. And we had a goal of freeing our country. And it was largely the PPP struggle that led to that victory, to the country achieving independence. And then in the period when dictatorship stalked these lands, and when many of our people had to leave Guyana to seek their fortunes elsewhere, and when many people were repressed and the economy tanked and poverty just was pervasive everywhere, when people lost welfare, they lost their rights, they lost their dignity in this land, they lost hope about our future, it was the PPP that stood like a bulwark fighting again to restore freedom and dignity to this land. And we inherited in that period a legacy from the APNU. And sometimes it's worth repeating what this legacy was and how we overcame it. Because too often people do not hear this. And there's some young comrades here. There are lots of young comrades here. And we suffered a lot because we do not repeat often enough what we mean to this country and how we have changed it. So what was the legacy in '92? The legacy was one of poverty, hopelessness, non-existent democratic institutions, a politically aligned army, weakened infrastructure, antiquated economic legislation, no investment. We were declared a pariah state. Rigged elections was the method through which you got into office. Social and economic decline was seen as the order of the day. And then mass migration of our people, and of course, a bankrupt economy. And what happened? We took a bankrupt economy and returned it to solvency and one of the most dynamic economies in the world, even before oil and gas. We took a pariah state and returned it to global significance and leadership. We took a dictatorship and cemented it, transformed it not only into a democracy, but rebuilt the democratic institutions that will defend a democratic state. And we took hopelessness and replaced it with hope for a brighter future. These are not easy tasks, and your party did it. And we must constantly remind the others who try to redefine us every single day of what this party stands for and what it means to Guyana. We are now witnessing a new era of transformation. And this transformation has to be led by the PPP. We're equipped to do it based on our history, our experience, and our achievements. And I'm proud to say that we are led by a young leader, Irfan Ali, who came out of this party. I know Irfan Ali well. Irfan Ali is one of the most courageous persons that I've ever met. And also, in my tenure he was one of the most efficient ministers we've had. He could have handled large-scale tasks easily, and you see him bring that skill into government because of his dynamic, energetic leadership now. We had many naysayers when we chose Irfan Ali, and Irfan Ali, thank you for proving all of them wrong. Thank you for proving all of them wrong. A young leader who has many, many more years to lead us and to serve the people of this country. And we're proud of him. But why is this transformation has to be led by the PPP? Because the key attributes of the transformation, the core values of this party, patriotism, democracy, freedom, these are inclusivity. These are key words in the People's Progressive Party that we don't toy with. We don't just say them and they mean nothing to us. They pervade our entire being as a political party. When we speak of inclusivity, we don't say it just like that. It gets reflected into our entire policy making. And so today, many people want to drag us into a sterile political debate, ideological debate, and they're stuck in a different era. They want us to debate the isms, capitalism, socialism, Marxism, and really, I say sterile because this party has had one ideology from its beginning, a working class ideology. A working class ideology that is reflected in our Constitution. If you read the preamble to the Constitution of the People's Progressive Party, it says political pluralism, ideological pluralism, political democracy, cultural diversity, and racial equality. Now, this was the constitution of the party from its inception. Listen carefully. Ideological pluralism, political pluralism, cultural diversity, and racial equality. Why do we have to all the time be defensive about what we want? That's our life in this party. That's in the Constitution. So when we say our policies are pro-poor, when we say that the pervasive, the key focus of the government will be a pro-poor one, that is reflective of our ideology, a working people's ideology. But does that mean that we can't be pro-development or pro-private sector at the same time? The answer is no. It's a false way of placing the question, because our Constitution mandates us to focus on development, and therefore, as of a necessity, we have to focus on private sector growth and the political pluralism that we talk here. So this is, I'm going to put that debate to rest here today, because you will see every week articles coming out about what is the PPP doing. And they want us to go back to the terminology of 60 years ago. We don't have to do that to define who we are. We are a working class party. We believe in the development of all Guyanese. We believe in racial equality. We believe in cultural diversity. We want prosperity for all of our people. Secondly, how are we going to deal with the resources of this country? Can you get some water for me, please? If one ordered the people to take away his drink back. Thank you. So, we believe, for those out there, I'm talking, who are not here, who are listening to us, some of them are sympathetic to us. Many are here in Guyana, some are in the diaspora, and then you have a whole slew of APNU people glued to the television now, listening to us too, and the detractors. So I'm speaking to them too. What do we believe in? We believe in equality of opportunities. We believe in the equitable distribution of the resources of the state. So President Ali just made that point. He spoke about how this gets reflected in our budgets. And in the oil and gas sector, if that's a burning question on your mind, yes, that will happen in the oil and gas industry too. And we will create, and we've started creating, a framework not only to ensure that that happens, but by investing in the things that matter most to poor people: education and healthcare and better housing and community infrastructure and job creation. 15,000 direct jobs that are funded by the budget. But we are also putting in place a framework that would hold both the investors and the government accountable, ourselves accountable, for the stewardship of this sector. And because we're a political party with credibility, because we're a political party with experience in policy making, because we have had this history of achievement, we can do so easily, and we're doing it. Secondly, we believe, as a fundamental part of our value and belief system, in gender equality. The women, particularly of this party and the country, they are sometimes the driving force of this nation, and they would always have the PPP behind their backs, supporting them, working to ensure that their lives are better and that they're not excluded from opportunities in this country. We believe in young people. Young people are this is one party that does not have to demonstrate its belief for young people and vesting them with responsibility. We have had, in my tenure, I came into the cabinet when I was in my 20s. Irfan Ali came into the cabinet in his 20s. Many of the ministers there, they 35 years president, the young presidents, etc. Our party, the leadership of this same party that they speak about us being fossilized and old-timeish, etc., they chose these people to run the country. So we've always given young people not just lip service in our party. We have trained them, included them, we have vested them with responsibilities, and when necessary, we have elevated them to the highest offices in this land. That is testimony to young people. You can talk all day long about young people. Our counterparts in the opposition, they believe you could hold a good show and bring in an artist to deal with young people, and that's the end of it, or build a cricket ground or a football stadium, football ground, which they didn't do much of in any case. So, on fighting for racial and religious harmony, that's key to this party too, and that is important. I think Shedi Jagan, if he was standing here, would have been the proudest person in this room, as I am as General Secretary of the party. In the period throughout our history, we fought for racial unity in this country. Even in the worst period, after the externally instigated riots, particularly by the Americans and the British in the Cold War era, 𝐂𝐎𝐒𝐒, if you listen to his speeches, he never gave up on racial unity. He saw it as a historic mission of the People's Progressive Party. And why did people stay away from us? They stayed away from us because the PNC has been very clever. They have used a combination of lies, falsehoods, to keep people away from us by redefining what this party is. And that's why today we are going to robustly challenge that notion. We're defining this party as to what it is now today. We're ensuring that all these lies are answered on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Sometimes they think we're thin-skinned or we're too pervasive. They say that we're too incessant, that you ease off a bit. Why you have to be fighting all the time? Well, we will fight for racial unity because we believe in it. And the reason they don't want us to fight this way is because they want to keep people being fed with their lies. I'm so proud that we have grown this party. We always had Indo-Guyanese supporting the PPP. Or we have grown this party in a major way. Nearly 1/3 of our delegates are from the hinterland at this conference. We have grown our party in Guyanese of mixed descent, and it's growing in the Afro-Guyanese communities, and I'm so proud of that. 𝐂𝐎𝐒𝐒 always wanted this because he knows that this party would be invincible if we reflect the full gamut of the country. And he fought for that, and it's happening today. And so we'll continue to fight for it. We will fight to expand rights of people. We did it many times before. We passed under the PPP one of the most progressive constitutions in the world. It was akin to power sharing at the judicial level, not the judicial, the legislative level. If you go through the features of that constitution, many people don't even read it, they criticize it, they want it changed. But they never really explore the depth of the constitutional measures that we put in place to promote inclusivity and the rights of different groups of people in this country, and also building into the Constitution the mechanism for the enforcement of those rights. If you examine it, and this should be a project for everyone, you will see what happened. But we're back at it again. When those who were contesting the last elections argued for constitutional changes, we said, you're too arrogant because the small parties want to change one provision or another. We said, we have to go back to the people. It is a people's document, and we're just in an enlightened fashion. We've just appointed a constitutional reform body that took 5 from government and 5 from opposition and 10 from civil society to do that once again, because we believe it's a living document, but ultimately it must withstand the test of the people because it's their document. It replaced the 1980 Burnham dictatorial constitution. That was one of the key changes we made. So we believe in enshrining rights, not just in the body of legislation that we have passed for women's rights, reproductive rights, all rights, children's rights, All of these are in the legislation, but we've enshrined a lot of those rights in the Constitution for indigenous people, the Indigenous Peoples Commission in the Constitution. We believe in an impartial judiciary, and sometimes this belief is tested. It's tested. But we believe in the separations of power. We believe that we still need to hold, regardless of which branch of the government in which you serve, whether it's the executive, the legislative branch, or the judicial branch of the government, that you have to be accountable to people, and therefore we have to ensure that that happens in the future. We have to raise the quality of decision making. And let me say to you that had we not taken the decision in the early 2000s to go back to the CCJ or to join the CCJ, Burnham came out of the access to the Privy Council, remove us from the access to the Privy Council, because he did not want an external review should there be rigged elections in Guyana. We return to that. If we did not take that decision in the early 2000s and join the CCJ, this party would not have been in power today, because the local courts ruled basically that Lowenfield had the right to disenfranchise 175,000 persons based on this alien to our Constitution and to our laws concept of valid votes. Totally alien. A flawed decision that was thrown out by the CCJ without, I don't think they even had to study it to throw it out. So we believe in that. We believe in a free press. When the PNC banned newsprint, when people had to smuggle in newsprint in the country, when the state had access, monopoly over every means of communication, we fought through that era, the Cheddi Jagan era. And therefore, it's deeply ingrained in us. We believe in the plurality of opinions and debate. And that's why we believe in a free press. We believe in NGOs working, and we support NGOs. We support them because many perform a useful task. But when they serve as a means of division, when they believe that an unelected few can arrogate to themselves the powers to believe that their voice must be the monopoly voice and their approbation the only thing that matters in a democracy, then we will fight that to our very core, because we're a political party that will never ever allow that to happen. Those ideas are not consistent with a free society, and we want to build a free Guyana where our children can grow, flourish, and develop their lives here in a condition that of freedom and plurality. And that is why we're not thin-skinned. We just have a record, and when they distort this record, the 𝐂𝐎𝐿 News or some of these unaccountable NGOs, every day they're at it. And you know what? They were at it in the past. In 2015, they even influenced it is you here, the members of this party. You have a duty, every single one of you, to learn of our history and achievements. You have to learn of our struggles so that each one of you can stand up and defend what we mean to this country, because history will be rewritten. The villains are now the heroes of our history in these stories of fiction that every single day you see concocted by NGOs and by newspapers. That is important to us. We believe we must eliminate differences in our people, equality of opportunities to education and jobs for all of our people, and prepare them for the future. That is why the focus on the hinterland, ensuring there is no coastal hinterland divide. Indigenous peoples have suffered enormously in the past. Chedi Jagan made this a priority by declaring a month-long celebration for indigenous people, a time when they were treated as second-class citizens in this country. We passed the new constitution, the Indigenous Peoples Commission, Amerindian Land Rights, the Act, Amerindian Act, and in which we enshrine a whole bundle of rights, but we've also invested heavily in the social development of hinterland communities and economic opportunities for hinterland people, and expanding access to healthcare and education that are non-existent. So you think it's by chance that we're the biggest party in the Amerindian community? It's by hard work that the PPP did in the years. It's not by chance. They got a shock in opposition. They thought, they have this old conception that whoever goes last to an Amerindian village will get the votes. Well, we didn't go last in any place. And after the elections were over, 2 APNU men said, oh, look, we built a bridge in region 1 in Morocco. And how come they didn't vote for us? But they didn't say that every year they collected nearly $2 billion of taxes from region 1. When we had declared the area virtually tax-free, they put customs there, pushing the hardship. They didn't talk about the assault on indigenous people by taking away $700 million per year from their villages. They didn't talk about the calling them greedy, all of these things. So we, the workers of this country, indigenous people of this country, all races, now can get this support of the PPP, not because it's special treatment, but because our mission is equality of opportunities, equality for everyone. People ask us, what about power sharing? What about power sharing? Will the PPP want to share power with the political parties? Notice, every time APNU is out of office, they call for power sharing. When they're in office, they say, forget this, you know, we're the majority, this is our time. So we have to work together with all political parties. But there are some critical things when you talk about working together, that the same people who write incessantly about power sharing miss. Trustworthiness is a big part of that. APNU supporters don't even trust APNU because they failed to implement the manifesto promises. They can't even get trust from their own supporters because they failed them. They made all these promises. The Cummings-Burg Accord promised to the AFC chairing of cabinet, naming ministers. The ink had not dried on the Cummings-Burg Accord, and their partner in crime, the AFC, was kicked out, basically, was reduced to a rubber stamp, which they gladly accepted. They did not fulfill a single promise of a written accord. How could you trust a party of that nature? How can you trust a political party that refuses to admit that the 2020 elections was rigged, or they attempted to rig it, and still claim they have the SOPs in a little box that can show they win. Really? And then how can you trust a party that will want to use rigging of elections as a tool to come to power? We are Democrats. We believe in democracy. We believe in freedom for people to choose their own government freely, openly, and that you must work for their support, which is what this party does. We work for people's support. We don't bully them. We don't threaten them. We don't harass them. We don't boycott them. Yes. And then the Irfan is heckling now about the CPU disappearing too. So, and then the next point about how can you support a party that believes its only mobilizing tool is racism? Racism, nothing else, everything. If the rain fell today, that's a racist thing. You know something? You saw this convention center, oh, we're taking over this body. I noticed they didn't build this place too. You know, they said, they criticized me for building it. Yeah, they said, oh, why are you spending this money? Another set saying, oh, we're holding Arrival Day. The party disrespects Indian because we're holding Arrival Day. Our Congress tomorrow is Arrival Day. And I want to wish everyone happy Arrival Day. But we're disrespecting. Who you think made that a holiday? We too in the PPP, we did that. And so, and then the other side said, oh, they're racist. You see, they hold it on Arrival Day only, right? This is what they're wallowing. So how could we engage in any meaningful dialogue like what 𝐂𝐻𝐿 Jagan always wanted? Some form of engagement. He promoted this concept, a national front government to confront promises or the challenges of the future. But you have to have willing partners, and there must be some attributes to those partners. Trustworthiness is a key one. We, in the international scene, our party has always had a principled position. And that principled position got reflected in the new global human order of 𝐂𝐻𝐿 Jagan. We always supported and give solidarity to people who are struggling against oppression elsewhere. So we're not conflicted when we talk about the Palestinian people and their support for a state of their own. It's a just cause. And we have given leadership, global leadership, Irfan Ali again, traversing the world. We're now among the cutting edge. Our opinions are sought on things like climate issues and food security and energy security. These are the crises of the modern day era, global crises. They pose existential threat, not to Guyana, but to the world. And this small country is giving intellectual and moral leadership to the world on these matters. This is the party that you belong to. That's why you must be proud, as I am. You must be proud in these achievements. So we have to continue working. I have to save, because I still have to present another report, and I think it's gone long, since Irfan took up most of the time. Yes, so I'm gonna cut short here. So, what is it? We are not fighting for political fall. We have to win the 2025 elections and win them massively. We're not fighting for political power in this country because it's an ego trip or a pathway to privileges and perks like the other party did. We're fighting for political power because we have a historic mission that we have to complete, started off from the beginning of our party. We need to bring all of these people, everybody, all of our people, together in racial and religious harmony, cement our country going forward. We have that unfinished business, and we have to work at it every day. We have to work to manage in a way that is sustainable our resources. And again, we're not a wishy-washy party. We've given clear economic leadership of the country from the creation of the National Development Strategy, traced its evolution all the way to the low carbon development strategy. It's a clear process of defining our vision. That's what differentiates us. We've defined our division, our end goal. We've put in place the programs and policies to achieve the end goal. The other parties don't have a vision. They don't have plans and programs. They don't have an end goal. So that's why this party has to win if we want to ensure prosperity continues. We have a mission to make sure that you have the most efficient people running. We will count on your support, and I know I see the enthusiasm among our people. I want to thank our activists wherever they are, working hard. Now, I'll talk more bluntly to our activists at the next session, the first session of the Congress. But here I want to acknowledge what they did, and our leaders in the Central Committee, the outgoing Central Committee, our cabinet colleagues, many others from NGOs, from civil society, small political parties, the diaspora, everyone who has made a contribution in the past and now are continuing to make a contribution to ensure that this party becomes a party, well, basically fulfills its mandate. So once again, I'll end with this. I have great faith in the leadership of Irfan Ali. I have great faith in his leadership. And we're together, all of us working together, we will achieve this. Thank you very much.
Long live Bharat Jagdeo, General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party. Long live the People's Progressive Party. This 32nd Congress represents the strength and fortitude of our party and its members, and thousands and many more supporters and sympathizers. I want to say, as a member of the PPP for 47 years, that I am so proud, so moved to see all of you, to recognize our wonderful leaders, Irfan and Bharat, and all the Central Committee, and our cabinet members, and our members of parliament, and our regional democratic councils, and our neighborhood democratic councils. We are in the best position we have ever been after all the years of struggle and sacrifice. And as I am one of the elders, no longer youth, I am proud to say that the PPP is in good hands. It is in good hands. We have nothing to fear for our party, but to keep it strong. We have such a proud and rich history of unwavering dedication, as Bharat Jagdeo pointed out, as the documents in the book, your satchels, President Irfan Ali pointed out. We've had an unwavering dedication to justice, peace, democracy, and development of our people and nation. One of the factors that everybody underestimates with the PPP is our resilience to overcome. And we shall always overcome. We have been beaten down in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, 80s, 90s. And even up to 2020, they try a thing. And we came back powerfully to show that don't mess with the PPP. We know what we're doing. Don't mess with this party. It's got leaders from the bottom to the top in every nook and cranny of this country, in every creek and river of this country, in every mountain and flat land of this country. Don't underestimate the People's Progressive Party at any time. And that is the mistake they've made over and over again. We have been surrounded in this period with goodwill and support from Guyana, from all walks of life, as never before in our history. For us, the members of the PPP, it is a badge of honor and duty to serve the people, to serve our party, to serve our nation, and to transform our beautiful and blessed Guyana to the benefit of all Guyanese, of every walk of life, of every part of our country. To be a PPP member is about sacrifice, about strength, about fortitude, about love, love for our people, love for our country. Not about self-aggrandizement, not about entitlements. It's about the highest form of service to our people, to make sure that this nation, no more rigged elections, no more being at the bottom of the ladder of the poorest nation in the hemisphere, no longer where people had malnutrition and beriberi, no longer with people being homeless and living in squatting areas which were up to your knees with mud. You see, we didn't have television, we didn't have laptops, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have phones. And many of us didn't have cameras. Cameras were a prized possession. So the documents, the graphicness of the poverty and degradation of pre-92 is in our heads. But how do we translate that to you, the younger generation? To make sure that we never, never, never go backwards. Forward ever under the People's Progressive Party. And we know we got good spirits. We got good spirits with us. Every time we're in government, this country breathes again and moves forward again and runs to reach as far as it can. And so we're at a good time, a good place. And our slogan, our theme for the day, in terms of look at it, strengthen our party. Just not talk about membership, but the type of leaders who are strong and resilient. Defend our nation. You know what that means. Defend our nation and our territorial integrity. And unite our people for progress and prosperity. That every Guyanese is entitled to a good life. Every Guyanese deserves to have their dreams realized. And so as we come down closing the ceremony, we wish to thank all our special invitees, but I will ask especially for Kwame McCoy. Minister McCoy, where is he? Kwame McCoy, to come and do the vote of thanks. And as he's approaching, I will say to all the delegates and observers, lunch will be served when we finish. Go in an orderly line to the lunch area. You have 1 hour after that. We went over time. We started a bit late, but it's 1 hour from when we end for you to come back in here to start the next section. So thank you very much. And let's ask Kwame to do the vote of thanks.
Directions, good, sure. Yeah. Good afternoon, comrades all, our leaders, and indeed, we have been energized by the presentations here today, especially by our President and General Secretary. And I'm overwhelmed with gratitude for the incredible support and the participation we've received for our 32nd Congress, and I believe that you're deserving of a round of applause. We
want to extend our heartfelt thanks, truly a heartfelt thanks, to each and every one of you for your contribution to the success of our opening program and for the next many hours we'll be spending here. Our appreciation for the speakers who graced this Congress opening with their wisdom, insight, and unwavering commitment to our party's principles. Your words have inspired and invigorated us as we chart our course forward and not onto another glorious, glorious victory for the People's Progressive Party civic government, but also for the people of Guyana. Very importantly, we don't govern for ourselves, we govern for the people of Guyana. We want to express our gratitude to all those who joined us here and in person and those online. To those who joined us far and near even, participation certainly has bridged the distances and united us in our shared vision for a better future. A special word of thanks is also due to the diplomatic corps, the media, the observers, and all those who will be continuing to support this Congress over the next few hours. Your presence serves as a testament to the significance of this event and the enduring impact of our party's mission. Last but certainly not least, I want to express our deepest gratitude to the numerous volunteers who tirelessly worked over the last many weeks and the planning committee behind the scenes to ensure that the seamless execution of this ceremony and the events, the activities to follow. Comrades, you, all of us, can rely on the PPP to bring people together in groups, in large numbers, for national causes and for political action. From the PPP family, its members, executive and central committee, we truly appreciate, as always, your time with us here this morning as part of Guyana's largest political congress ever in our history. I said Guyana's largest political congress ever. Let us carry forward the spirit of unity and purpose that has defined the opening ceremony. Together we will strengthen the party, defend Guyana, and unite our people for progress and prosperity. Now, just for an announcement, please hold in your positions. We will give you directions on how you can be served for lunch and to also guide you on the timings in terms of when we need to get back here and the other sessions. I hand you back to the chairperson.
Long live. Thank you very much, Kwame. I know you're all hungry. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. Let us break for lunch, but I have some messages. PZZ 2427, PNN 2513, DFL 14, PSS 9556. Please move your vehicles. You're blocking Giftland parking area so people can't get out. For those of you, we have 1 hour. So check your hour, check your time, 1 hour.
Greetings, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. There was so much that was just said in the 32nd Congress ceremony for the PPP. What do you guys think? I saw so many, and they were divided. A lot of people don't want the PPPC to come back. A lot of people do want them to come back. What do you guys think about the speeches that were made by President Ali, VP 𝐂𝐎𝐿, 𝐂𝐎𝐿, and I see that you guys are still leaving comments. The comments are still pouring in about what just happened and what was said. Some people are saying they should be boycotted because they embrace the PPP. Some people are for the PPP because they said this is the first time in years that they've seen any progress for themselves. In the comments, great party, PPP. We're seeing that why must the teachers strike to get an increase? Why an all-rich country gets so much blackouts? There's so many things, but they're not covering the things that people want to talk about or people want to hear about. Let us know below, and do remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Tune in for in another hour. They will be back.